It's fun being a birder. Now here's a neat find. Woodpecker has been at work. When it's your passion, you just love doing it. It's a very easy thing to get involved with.
I'm Martha Weaver with Anoka County today. We're here at Wargo Nature Center on a gorgeous day, and Bob Holtz joins us. He's a naturalist and adult education specialist for Anoka County Parks, and he's also a birding expert. So we're excited to be here, sitting along the edge of the wetland. And the moment that we walked up here, he said, "Hey, there's the call of the sandhill crane." Let's talk about that species specifically first.
That's a neat one because we have sandhill cranes nesting here this year. We've got 2 adults with 1 young one. The area, if people would like to find it, is on the east side of Highway 14. As opposed to turning west and going into the Nature Center, you go into that area about 100 yards. And on the south side, in some tall grasses, we've seen several times the 2 adults and 1 young one.
Talk a little bit about this species and some of their unique characteristics and what they sound like, what people should listen for if they don't necessarily see them.
Well, the song of the crane, if you can call it a song, the call, is something I enjoy as much as the call of a loon. And I happen to have my... You get that loud karoo call, it's kind of neat. We don't have that many sandhill cranes around here compared to other places, but we do have some nesting. And if you really want to see lots of them, though, you would go to Nebraska in the springtime and see tens to hundreds of thousands camping out along the Platte River.
Okay, what do they look like?
Tall bird, red forehead, a dark beak, and this sound, if you hear that, you'll certainly know what it is. And pretty hard to miss because we don't have many other things that look like that. Matter of fact, we don't have anything, I guess, that looks like that.
What do you like about that bird?
Well, the call is #1.
Yeah.
And the rareness, I think, helps a little bit too. You'll get excited to see this thing, you know. But I get excited about many birds I see.
Do they stay here during the summer months, or are they just passing through?
Well, those that are breeding are staying here. We have this pair here. They'll have to stick around and take care of this young one because he cannot fly yet.
Okay. Okay. How long ago was the young one born?
By now it's about a month.
Oh, okay.
Since he hatched. I think about a month ago we started seeing him, and he was only a couple days old when we first spotted him.
Now, when we were out here before, you had pointed out to us the osprey nest, another species that's out here. Give me the update on that. It's like the baby watching.
Yeah. We have a pair of osprey nesting, and I stopped to take a look on the way in this morning.
Yeah.
And I saw the female sitting pretty much in the middle of the nest, standing really, and the male on an outer edge. She was reaching down and pulling off little pieces of a fish, because they always nest fairly near water, and they're almost exclusively fish-eating birds.
Aren't they also called a fishhawk?
That's one of their sort of unofficial names, yes. Yeah. But besides eating some fish herself, every once in a while she picked off a little piece and put it down over the side of her. And after watching about 2 minutes, I could see the head come up and get a bite. So she's got at least 1, there may be 2 in there, because they usually have a couple eggs. But last year this pair raised 1, and maybe that's all they'll have this year too.
Now, it's interesting to me, learning from you, that osprey really are all over the place as far as they're a really continental bird, aren't they?
Found on all the continents except Antarctica, surprise, surprise. You know? They are much more plentiful than they were 50, 40 years ago. They were victims of pesticides just like bald eagles and peregrine falcons. And we've put up nesting platforms around the metro area. Now there's quite a few of them nesting, so they're, at this point, we could say doing pretty well.
Will they build their own habitat as far as nesting? Because it seems like so often they're in those man-made nests.
They can, even around here. They take some pretty good sized sticks, but don't build anything nearly as big or elaborate as bald eagles do. So they just need basically a platform. So the platforms people have put up work quite well.
How would somebody, if they see them, do they have a different outline in the sky compared to some birds if someone were to see them overhead?
It would look like a large hawk, which it is. Sort of has a kink in its wing, white underneath, dark on top, white head, dark line through the eye, And the female is a little bit more streaked on the breast than the male is. And he's actually a little smaller and slimmer also, which is typical of the raptors. Females tend to be larger.
Now, are they the ones that their wings kind of, if you're looking at them from the other side in flight, their wings kind of go backwards, more like a boomerang?
Yeah, it's that kink in the wing. Yeah.
Okay, so is that because they dive?
I suppose it helps with the aerodynamics. When they dive, they go in talons first.
And that's unique, right?
Grab a fish, and when they fly, they hold it so it's head first, almost invariably. Aerodynamics, yep. Yep.
Well, fantastic. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you like about the osprey.
Well, again, it's probably, first of all, because they're not that common. If you see them dive in, you will never forget it. So it's a unique species. We're fortunate to have them nesting right here.
So usually, you said you saw one head pop up in that nest. Is it usually one that they have?
Usually two.
Okay.
Yeah. But one is not uncommon, I would say.
Is it possible that other one hasn't hatched yet? Or do you think it would have been about a month?
It's possible, but I think it should have hatched by now. Songbirds, when they lay their eggs one a day, they wait until they're all laid, then they begin incubation, so they hatch all pretty much the same day. Raptors tend to lay an egg, start incubating.
Okay.
And then when they lay another one 2 days later, 1 or 2 days later, then they incubate that also. So you get young there that are different ages. So there could be another one hatching, but I don't think so. I saw evidence of that head just a little bit a few days ago already. So by now the other one should have hatched if there was one. And there may be two in there, I don't know.
Now this is an exquisite day, and it's always a great day to be at Wargo Nature Center. Talk about some of the other special birds that people will see here this time of year.
Well, one that's not real unique is the eastern bluebird, but it's special because I think people always like to find bluebirds.
Right.
And we have a number of bluebird boxes that are set up, and 40 of them roughly. Last year in those boxes, 36 bluebird eggs were laid.
How many?
36.
Wow.
And 30 of those hatched. Well, I think they all hatched, but one family disappeared. So 30 out of the 36, though, fledged. That means the young were able to leave the box flying. This year we don't seem to have quite as many. And part of this is bluebirds aren't the only ones that use those bluebird boxes. Tree swallows, black-capped chickadees, and house wrens also use them. And actually...
Housing shortage.
Actually, the tree swallows, particularly here, use more of the boxes than the bluebirds do.
Really? Why is that?
They're just plentiful around here, good feeding areas for them. And, in all honesty, our boxes aren't all placed in the best spots.
Okay.
You know, for bluebirds.
If somebody wanted to put up, what's the best spot then, if somebody wants to do that?
If you want bluebirds, you want it to be in a grassy area. You might want some wooded area nearby, but keep the box 150, 200 feet away from the woods. The closer you get to the woods, the more apt you are to get house wrens using it.
Okay.
And if you're encouraging house wrens, you develop a problem in the sense that house wrens will even throw out the eggs of other birds and take over. Yeah, they do that. If people want to see our boxes, as they drive into the Nature Center, they'll see boxes along the road, but not too close to it. If they get up to the Nature Center, on the north side there are two boxes. The box farthest from the building has already had 3 bluebirds fledge.
Okay.
And the other box, closest to the building, has 4 bluebird eggs in it right now.
Oh, really?
And I suspect it's the same pair. The young from the first family took off, so they're laying eggs in the other box already.
Right.
If they want to walk as much as 1.5 miles, at least a mile, they can walk along our Bluebird Trail on the Heritage Lab siting, and that's the east side of Highway 14. And quite a few of the boxes there, and they'll see all kinds of birds in the area. Tree swallows will be flying all over. House wrens will be singing, and a few bluebirds will be seen.
Before we go, look right up there. What have we got up there? Are those the pelicans, or are those the cranes again?
Those are pelicans up there. Yeah. They're not nesting here. We don't get any nesting, but we've got the pelicans. We always see egrets. And a moment ago, there were forester's terns flying out there. And by the way, there's another
It's a huge
flock
group.
of pelicans out there. Look like a couple dozen. They're flying right now. Yeah.
Tell me about, before we finish, the water level's extremely, extremely low. What impact is that having on the bird populations that you would normally see compared to what you're seeing now?
This has always been a very shallow lake, so I don't think it's affected birds very much. We don't get much in terms of nesting out here, so the pelicans will just feed in the shallow areas. The egrets love the shallow areas because it makes it easier for them to catch fish, so it's been a plus for them.
Okay.
And I noticed foresters' terns diving in before too, so it's probably helpful for them even too. Fish are going to be closer to the surface.
Great. Bob Holtz, thank you so much. We'll have much more Birding with Bob coming up.